Thank you very much, everyone, for coming to join our event today. And based on what David's introductions, you know that I'm going to talk about tangible assets. I'm not going to talk about metaverse. So do we have a poll as well for this one? Yes, okay. The question is, what do you think is the biggest driver of long-term economic growth in China? So technology, productivity, wow, 100%. And productive capital, and printing money, interesting. Okay. China, and what has been the major driver of China's growth over the last few decades? I mean, China has been very successful in growing and basically moving a lot of surplus labor from the countryside to work at the coastal city, at factories. And in this process, it has greatly increased the productivity of its population. And at the same time, that combines with cheap energy, mainly coal, but increasingly more oil and natural gas, and hydropower as well. But what happened next? Now, you look at this chart. I mean, China's working age population peaked in 2015. And it will start to decline actually quite sharply in a few years' time. And then we look at the oil production. Oil production, you see on the left-hand side, you see consumption is going up, oil consumption is going up, but oil production actually peaked also in the same year as the working population, 2015. And can China increase the oil production? You look at the capex. I mean, just like Steen mentioned, I mean, the physical world's lack of investment is underinvest. And capex in oil and gas in China peaked in 2013. And the government tried to push it up, but never really get back to the level. So it's underinvestment. And now we look at, okay, now then China has a problem. We have, China has a deficit in energy. How much is it? Growing out since 2013, and China now is importing 70% of its oil consumption and 40% of its natural gas. How much is that? If you put it in a crude oil equivalent, you can actually fill 2,400 super tankers every year. And so, with peak oil production and peak working age population, at the same time with a runaway commodity inflation. So what does it mean? That means the policy makers in China cannot wait and actually have to consider need to invest in energy infrastructure and productivity. And the runaway inflation, why is a good thing? Because it brings forward the determination of the policy maker to make the change. So, and you can see, because of the runaway commodity inflation, according to the IMF, it actually has subtracted 4.7 percentage points from China's GDP over the last 2 years. So basically, the key takeaway for us today, and in this section, is the policymakers is well aware of these changes and have to change the development model in China. And they're going to spend a lot of money investing in energy infrastructure and also to make its workforce more productive through like investment in new infrastructure like automation and industrial Internet of Things and many things. So as investors, it's much better to, especially when the market's volatile, and is to invest together with the government. I mean, go with the government's money. So the key way is we can consider investing in energy infrastructure related industry and companies, and also those companies can make contribution to make China's workforce more productive. And then another additional looks, we like those companies can have good, maintain their margins and during inflation. So these are the key takeaway for me for today for this section. Yeah. Thank you very much. And now I pass the mic to Jessica.